Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Morgane F and you're watching Morgane Eats, where I talk all about approachable and affordable plant-based foods. So welcome if you're new here, and welcome to 2022. We did it, y'all. So now I'm going to take you on a day of what I eat while I am on the Daniel fast. And briefly, the Daniel fast, in my words, is going to allow me to get closer to God over these 21 days of plant-based eating, which is not super different from how I already eat, as I am practicing vegan lifestyle. And the biggest difference is no added sugar, no alcohol, but it's based on eating simple meals that are not, as it says in the Bible, like the king's food. So it's based on Daniel in the Bible. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the book that I am doing the devotionals on, as well as some other resources that I found that are kind of cool. So if you want to check that out, if that's been on your heart to really, move closer to God, then, I'm glad you tuned into this video. But we're going to get on to the food and what I eat in a day. So let's just get into it. And if you want to see each day, a little bit more each day, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Morgane_eats, because I'll be in my stories with the pictures. All right, let's get into the video. I started off my day with a chickpea omelet. So I'm just preparing it now with my flax seeds and my chickpea flour, which I have been babysitting this chickpea flour for forever because I'm a little intimidated by this chickpea omelet. And I still want to perfect this recipe and get better at making it, because I've actually never been successful at even making a regular animal-based omelet. So I just don't know if the pan's non-stick enough, I guess, or oiled enough. But at any rate, I am determined to keep bettering myself and continuing to try. And I think that's the biggest thing about everyone thinks when they start a new year, like, okay, I'm going to try all these new things. And if you're doing too much at once, then it can be kind of overwhelming. But if you just focus in on the things that you're really open to, then just one thing that you're really open to, then you'll likely achieve some success. Sauteing some onions and some garlic in the pan. We're going to get the veggies mixed together. And I believe these were shallots. And I don't normally cook with shallots, so that was pretty cool to me to be able to use. Spinach going in. And I also didn't know that you could rest your spoon on the handle. So that was like, I just learned that maybe a month ago. So try it out, you rest your wooden spoon or whatever on the handle and get that a whirl. That was pretty comical to me. I was like, oh, you can do that. Okay, so I added frozen peas in here as well, and green onions. So we're taking that off and putting it into a separate container. And so now we have that chickpea mixture in an oiled pan. And I gave it a good swirl to try to get the oil combined and, to really coat the bottom, but I still didn't flip it properly. So this is the final product. Next, I'm going to show you guys the salad that I made. And I'm starting off by making this green goddess dressing. Please try this trick. Just squeeze and that thing comes out like, oh my goodness. It'll save you so much time. By not having to put the knife in there and roll the knife around. It's just so much easier. It could be a little messy because you see I just get some avocado in my hand, but if you cook it for yourself, go ahead and just lick that bad boy off and eat it. It's okay if you cook it for yourself. Alrighty. And also, This is a very forgiving kitchen here, so we don't really care if things get messy because we're going to clean up later after we're done. I'm not a clean up as I go type chick. I clean up when I'm finished. And I was really practicing keeping the scraps today, and you'll see with all the veggies that I have later on. So we have parsley in here now, 2 avocados, and the juice of a lemon. And I'm obsessed with that juicer thing. It saves so much time. Gadgets are very helpful at times, especially when you're, I don't want to say lazy, but especially when you're trying to move quickly. When you're cooking, I guess especially when you're hungry and you're cooking when you're hungry, which is never the best thing to do, but you can always nibble. Okay, green onions, and because I'm meta, this is olive oil, or avocado oil, not olive oil. Shouldn't have eyeballed this, but it turned out fine. Probably about a tablespoon, because if you have too much apple cider vinegar, baby, that is no bueno. Garlic and salt going in there. And I have to admit that I love the way this dressing turned out. It is delicious, and I've been putting it on. I have a lot, so I've just been putting it on whatever, I probably could just, if I had some carrots, like some baby carrots, I could probably just dip the baby carrots in there, but I don't have any baby carrots. So now I'm preparing the salad. So I already have romaine lettuce in there, as well as some leftover roasted chickpeas that I had from New Year's Eve. And I got my power tool in again, another tool of my mandolin that is really helpful. So that was the whole cucumber going in there. I just need to go get this device I'm using to better glide and cut properly. So now I have this red onion, and now I'm adding in celery, which I gotta be honest, there's only a few things that I do not like. Corn is one of them, and celery. I would add black beans to the list, but I'll eat black beans. They're not terrible. You just have to add some garlic to it or something. So that was some green olives. This is really like a Mediterranean salad. Red peppers and artichoke hearts. Roasted red peppers, I should say, and artichoke hearts. And now we're about to dress this bad boy. So I blended it up, and then I put the rest in this mason jar. Oh my gosh, guys. I have to admit, this was probably my favorite. And it was just a salad. And I honestly don't eat salads like that. It's just not something I would normally eat. I would want some spinach or some kale, like a green, not a romaine lettuce. But I enjoyed it. So it's all about, trying something new. Again, I said simple meals. So for dinner, it was really a vegetable stew. So midway through here, I realized I don't want to use that much oil, and I'd rather use broth. So I think it turned into a stew because I used a little bit too much broth, but that's whatever. It happens. Butternut squash, which is incredible, by the way. Incredible vegetable that I should be cooking with more. My problem, and I'm sure you can relate to this, I don't like to cut it. Because a lot of the times it's so big. The ones that I get from Misfits are so big that I'm intimidated by cutting it. But if you microwave it for like 30 seconds, it'll soften up. So we have now put in a load of vegetables. Zucchini, tomatoes are one of them, and I think there was mushrooms as well that went in there too. And I didn't slice the mushrooms, I just quartered those mushrooms. And once again, it's forgiving kitchen. If we spill, we just 30-second rule, it's all good. Because this is a forgiving kitchen. We're doing our best, and I think that's the biggest thing. Even just about veganism, if there's a perfect vegan, I'd like to meet him, because there's not a perfect human. So we're all just doing the best that we can to make an impact, to live out our ethical decision. 2 cans of diced tomatoes going into my Instapot. And again, seasoning. Oh yes, and again, this is a lazy meal. Tons of seasonings. if you're interested in any of these recipes, I will link the book that I got it from, all the recipes from. Just share this information with you. I pressure cooked for like 15 minutes. Then I came back and I went ahead and took out that bay leaf and I added in leftover lentils and then some black eyed peas because it was actually New Year's Day, and you know the whole thing about eating black eyed peas on New Year's Day. I still do it, but normally you would make it with white beans as per the recipe. So I served it over some quinoa. Thanks so much for watching.